welcome back to my channel, guys. My name is Alexis and I'm going to be starting a new YouTube series. I want to get into some crime, some murder, some investigation. If you don't know me, my name is Alexis. A lot of people call me Lex. A lot of people call me Princess Lex. That's something that I used to go by back in the day when I was a little bit more ghetto on the social media. Now I gotta try to be a little bit more classy, because we're going for that type of vibe this year. Excuse me if I am nervous. This is my first YouTube video that I'm really, I really want to do the right way. I know I may not have the proper equipment to do so, but this is something that I really want to speak on. I wanted to speak on cases that were unsolved, people that died in vain, people that were tragically murdered, and victims of, domestic violence, child abuse, neglect, just failed by society, failed by, CPS, the government, things like that, because this is something that I feel like a lot of people talk about amongst each other, but nobody really has the audacity or has the courage to speak out on it. And it's totally fine. We can do so. We can do whatever we feel we need to spread the word. I do want to speak on this person, this young child. I want to say before I continue on with this video, may he rest in peace, his beautiful soul. He was gone too young, and I just feel like I want to do this out of respect. I don't want to mean no disrespect to any of the families that are involved. I don't want to disrespect any party. This is something that I just feel like is going to be talked about severely. I know that it became a Netflix documentary. This is something that caught my eye because I seen another YouTuber, I think her name is Mina OX, speaking on it about how Gabriel Fernandez was brutally murdered. And as soon as I heard his story, like, I just felt this instant connection with him. I've never been in a situation such as his. I never was abused as a child. I never, grew up around abuse. Yes, my parents did discipline me, but it was never like something so outrageous where I was getting beaten or anything like this. When this YouTuber brought up this situation and brought up this documentary and everything that was coming to play, I just felt so attached. I felt like I needed to speak up on it, and this is something that really intrigued my heart and pulled on my heartstrings. I have for many years worked with children with disabilities, and I feel like this is something, I'm not referencing as Gabriel having disabilities. I'm just saying I just feel like a lot of children are mistreated within the system, and I feel like a lot of people neglect to see that even though they're small, they matter. And I just want to say, first and foremost, rest in peace to Gabriel Fernandez. May he rest in peace, his beautiful soul. I want to just speak on you, baby, because I feel like you died in vain, and I feel like justice is still not served, even though these people that did it to you, they may be, away or wherever they are, but I just feel like justice is not fully served until we as people use our voices to speak out against this, because closed mouths don't get fed. And I feel like a lot of people tiptoe around situations like this because we live in such a selfish world. No one wants to speak up on, reality. We rather care about whose rapper has the biggest ring or what girl's fighting. That does not matter to me anymore. So let me go ahead and continue on with the subject, because this is something I really want to talk about. So may you rest in peace, baby boy. I know that you're in heaven, and I know you're in the sky, and I just know that, justice will be served, and you will get the justice that you deserve, and that, many people do need to see you have. So this is about a young boy. His name is Gabriel Fernandez. I mean, I was so intrigued with the story. Like I mentioned, he's from Palmdale, California. He was a child of one of three children to his mother. His mother's name was Pearl Fernandez. He had a stepfather that was involved with this situation. His name was Isauro. He also went by the name Tony. So from what I was reading, Pearl got pregnant. Pearl grew up in a pretty much difficult situation from what I was reading. I want to advise all the information that I got was strictly from the internet. I didn't make anything up, so don't come for me, please. From what I was seeing, Pearl came from a pretty bad background. She stated several times that her mother never showed affection to her, that her father was in and out of incarceration, he was in and out of jail. It was said that at 9 years old, she started doing methamphetamine, she was raped by an uncle, she was gangbanged, she was kidnapped. You know, sadly, I know a lot of people will think that my opinion is wrong, but she was failed herself by the system. It's such a situation where a child's put in to be raped, molested, 9 years old, doing methamphetamine. Someone should have stepped in. I'm not justifying anything that she did, but I believe to her of her situation, she was a victim as a child. Now that she's an adult and she clearly knows the difference between wrong and right, I feel like she was failed as well as a child. And this is just what it was said. It said that her mother never showed her affection. Her father was incarcerated for many years, in and out. It said that she was pregnant with Gabriel. His birthday, I believe, is February 20th. He was deemed to be left at the hospital, that as people were advising that she had no maternal connection to Gabriel. She didn't feel like the maternal bond. I'm not a mother myself, but if I was, I definitely would probably feel some type of connection as soon as you have a child. It was stated online that she wanted to leave him at the hospital, and that her family members advised her and was like, what are you doing? You're trying to leave your child at the hospital. So immediately from day one, her family stepped in. It was said that she was constantly on in and off of drugs. She was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, depression. She was on medication. She was using drugs. She was using pain pills. At this point, it's something that we need to realize, that mental illness is something that should be taken seriously, because this could have saved this young person's life, and it could have made a big difference in the situation. I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, like people make up mental health, you guys just are like trying to get attention. But as a Latina, I feel like a lot of times in our culture, we say people are being over exaggerative, or we're being too much. But I do want to state, mental health is true. I suffer from extreme anxiety. I've been through depression, and I feel like something like this should be taken seriously, because when people have these issues, they should be reported, they should be documented, they should be notated. And this is what goes into what I'm going to shortly get into. So it was said that Pearl wanted to leave Gabriel at the hospital, and Pearl's mother and father took over. So what they thought, custody of Gabriel. They were raising him his whole short life. And they were raising him, essentially being the mother and father figure to him, taking care of him, cooking, cleaning, I'm assuming paying everything that he needed to do. And it was stated online that Pearl and her boyfriend, Isauro, aka Tony, wanted to get custody back of Gabriel because they wanted to receive welfare checks from him and the benefits of that, which is clearly disgusting, because a lot of people have kids for the wrong reasons. They just think income taxes, welfare, government assistance. Being a mother and being someone to have a child, I would believe, is a very huge responsibility, and something that should not be taken lightly. This is what was stated. I guess a third party person advised that Pearl told them that she was trying to get Gabriel back because she wanted to get a welfare check. And maybe, I'm assuming, possibly food stamps, access. I don't know how the system works in California. I'm just speaking on from what I know. In my state where I reside is Arizona. I'm assuming they have some type of assistance there in California. So essentially they just wanted to take over and get the benefits, reap the benefits of Gabriel, but not truly be a parent, which is sad, because you're really ripping a child out of everything that they know in a home, and you're gonna move them into a house with someone that never even wanted them from the get-go. And this is where child services failed this young boy from day one. Just because you open your legs and you make a baby, doesn't make you a parent. Vice versa, woman, man, I don't care. Just because you made a baby does not make you a parent. Being a parent, you have to be there at all times. I'm just speaking on my experience from how my parents were, and clearly the system doesn't think that way. So apparently, Pearl motioned to take Gabriel from the house where he was residing with his grandparents, his whole entire childhood, and basically was like, "I want my child back. There's nothing you can do about it." And what does the government do, and what does CPS do? They rip him out of everything he knows and loves, and knowing, Pearl has all these problems, they put him into a house, you know, where there's drug abuse. She has mental issues. God knows who her boyfriend is. We don't know. I don't know where he comes from. Clearly, God forbid that there's more people that want to do things like this. So essentially, CPS took him out of his grandparents' home, moved him in with the mother and Tony, Pearl and Tony, took him over. It was stated from day one that they alleged that, Gabriel was gay. They thought he was gay. And being Latin and being Hispanic, I'm very proud of my culture, but I feel like a lot of the times being a Latina, a lot of people shun being gay. People are born, God makes no mistakes, but also people are born different, and that's fine. It's not for us to judge, disregard them, treat them like anything less than what they are, because it is so sad that this young child, this innocent human being, was tortured, not even abused, tortured, because his mother and her boyfriend believed and deemed that he was gay. I highly doubt that they ever sat there and asked Gabriel, "Are you gay?" Or, "What do you like?" There's many reports where Pearl would be saying, like, "You're a guy," like, hitting him, abusing him. He would be playing with Barbie dolls. And it was said that she would beat him if he was caught playing with the doll, and she would make him wear a little girl's dress. Like, I'm not saying, I know as a girl, I played with guy toys, and I know as a guy, guys play with girl toys. When we're little, we're babies. We don't know the difference, We're just having fun, and it's truly sad that in the Latin community, a lot of people feel like it's so disgraceful to be gay. Like, you can be whoever you want to be, And sadly, this is just not only a child abuse case. This is a homophobic case. This is a case against discrimination. It just goes so in depth, and I believe that's why so many people are intrigued by Gabriel. So it was said that he was 8 years old. He was forced to eat cat litter. He was locked in a cupboard. He was shot in the face with a BB gun. He had beatings. He had burn marks. He had a black eyes. He, was getting all these things happening to him, and just him, not his other two siblings. He has, I believe, a sister name. I'm not gonna name their names because they're minors. He had a sister and a older brother that never received this treatment. Only Gabriel. And unfortunately, Gabriel's biological father was incarcerated at this time, because I highly doubt if his father was out, I highly doubt Tony would have the audacity, much less to do this to his child, to someone else's child. So it believes I believe that he was gay. So it was said that Gabriel had a teacher. Her name was Jennifer Garcia. She went to CPS several times. I mean, numerous accounts. I was reading all the time she went, and was stating to him everything that they did to him. It was stated that he knew how to smoke crack. It was stated that he was shot in the face with a BB gun. It was stated that, he was beaten. He would have cigarette burns all over his precious body. This case really makes me turn on the inside. I'm so sorry. It was stated that they would be knocking his teeth out with a bat, hitting him with the metal part of a belt, and leaving, I guess, like lashes all over his body. She went to CPS and nothing was done. Social workers went over to his house. You know, he was beaten if he was lied to or he said the wrong thing to these social workers. So I believe at this point he was completely brainwashed and he didn't deem what was right or wrong, because his mother clearly was a sociopath and would tell him, if you do this, they're gonna make you go to jail, which was written in the reports. And that she would tell him, if you do this, they're gonna take you to jail, because as a child we're all scared of, police. We're scared of anything, to do with the law. That's just how we're brought up, to have fear like that. So she would basically advise, like, you do this, like, this is what's gonna happen, you know what I mean? So the social workers were to go out to the home. It was even stated that some of the social workers would be caught flirting with Gabriel Fernandez, and their excuses were they treated over 280 kids a day. I'm sorry, but they should be held accountable for what they did. They failed this child so badly. And I give so much props to the teacher that spoke up, because you know what? There's teachers that care and there's teachers that don't really give up. You know what I mean? And trust me, I've had good teachers. I've had teachers, that played favorites. I had all kinds of different types of teachers in my life. And clearly this is a teacher that sat, paid attention to her student, was detailed enough to realize that something just didn't seem right, and she did her job. Social services should have from day one pulled up to the house and examined it. Of course, if someone's gonna go over, you're gonna do, whatever it takes to make it look like a happy tale fairy, whatever, makes it look like everything is normal. Clearly, social services was so concerned about the 280 kids that probably are still within the system. They failed this young man. And not only this, there has been another case where a child was murdered in Palmdale, California, because social service did this thing ×2. So at this point, I'm looking at, like, why isn't the courts trying the social services and making them, be accountable for them not doing their job? I know I'm getting off topic, but oh my goodness, people, like, what is wrong with you? Clearly, okay? So this abuse went on from time to time. They would pepper spray him, feed him cat litter, bandana, socks in the mouth, choke him. His sister and his brother alleged that Tony would choke him so hard, would choke Gabriel so hard that his innocent little body would be up, dangling. There's a thymus gland that's within the body. I guess it has to do with the immune system. Apparently, a boy of his age should have a thymus gland. It should be at 100. His was at 10 because of how stressed he was and how, I like horrible. I can't even imagine the anxiety that this poor child went through every freaking day, dude. Sleeping in a cupboard with socks in your mouth, forced to eat your own feces. Let me not forget, they were making him eat his feces. You know what I mean? Just disgusting. Clearly disgusting at this point. There was Gabriel was writing suicide notes and saying that, Gabriel's a good boy, mommy, I still love you. It was like if he was speaking in third person, like his mother was making him feel like who he truly was not good, like him of value was not good, And back to the grandparents tried to go get Gabriel back, but I guess the officer that went to the home was like, you cannot get him back. And Pearl was limiting the visits on her mom and dad seeing her son, because obviously anybody in their right mind would see a child like that, they would know that some type of abuse is going on at this point, which is truly, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that Not only did social services fail this child, his mother failed his child. I believe that there could have been more things done, and I feel like a lot of people just fumbled the ball, and unfortunately, this poor innocent baby died in vain, which is disgusting. So back to the point, they found a suicide note of him, you know, basically stating he still loves his mommy, he wants to do this, you know, so forth. Not only that, it was alleged, I don't know if this is true or not, that he stole his teacher's iPod because he wanted to feel some type of love from his mom. Like, you know, as a child, we give a gift to our mommy, we make a card, like, here, mom, and we want to feel that instant gratification. Gabriel did this, and as a punishment, his mother made him go to school the next day with a dress on, a female's clothing, and, you know, it's beyond me. As a teacher, you know, you're seeing all this happen. What do you do at that point? All you can do is really pick up the phone and call, and you have to leave, you know, this child's life in someone else's hands. This is just so much. They basically, the teacher wanted to remove him from the home, you know. Nothing ever happened on that end. Nobody ever removed, like, never, clearly nobody ever removed him from the home. It was said that in the 911 call, you know, he was so badly beaten. Gabriel did pass away. He was so badly beaten that there was so much blood in the home that the detectives ran out of tape to mark the blood in the house. So not only did this child die, he brutally was murdered, which is so disgusting to me. Oh my God. So when his mother Pearl did the 911 call, or whatever, as soon as the cops showed up to the house, the first thing she said is, he is gay. Are you, like, anybody in your child, you just were a part of killing your child. First of all, clearly you don't have the mental capacity to even be normal. I'm not saying that with any disrespect. I'm just speaking. Clearly she has a mental illness that she would even do something like that. Why would you say she was gay? So clearly from the get, his parents believed that he was gay, which is horrible. They told the officers that he believed he was gay. They, you know, was trying to cover it up, said that he fell down so hard, he hit his head. Gabriel died shortly after at the hospital because he was considered brain damaged and brain dead. And, you know, it's disgusting because Isauro or whatever, Tony was, when they took him into custody, he was crying and asking about how Gabriel was and if he was okay. Like, come on, dude. And even when they tried him in his case, they were trying to say that he couldn't be capable of this because he was showing sympathy. And a lot of the attorneys were trying to say that Pearl coerced him into, like, beating Gabriel. But to me, you're a grown man. You know what's right. You know what's wrong. Ain't no woman in this life gonna ever make me do something, nor man gonna make me do something I don't want to do. You know what you were doing. You know you were wrong. And now you have to face you know, you have to deal with your consequences. And it's disgusting that to me that an attorney could even represent someone that is so sick in the mind. You know what I mean? I understand that they have bills to pay, and no shade or offense to any attorneys, but me and my moral standings, I couldn't do it. I couldn't sleep with myself knowing at night to know that I was, you know, supporting and lying for a killer. I just couldn't do it. There was evidence that showed that Pearl was speaking to Tony and was like, now I'm getting a murder case for you because you said I was in the room. She wasn't even concerned that she killed her child. She was more concerned that she was going to sit in jail for the rest of her life. So when they did this, it was said that her attorneys were advising that she had a low IQ score. She was disabled and started drinking and doing meth when she was 9 years old. I'm sorry, an IQ score does not justify anything. An IQ score is not even valid or has anything to do. It is proven that an IQ score, that test was only done by a certain type of race way back in the day. It was done by all males, first of all, of a certain type of race in a certain type of area in the world. I'm sorry, but not only males and not only a certain type of race and not only a certain type of age group of people are capable enough to say, oh, we're going to take this test. Now, this is going to justify how smart you are. That's even something that needs to be redone. And it's sad that her defense even tried to put that into play, which is clearly disgusting. The thing that got me about Pearl is she sat in court all with her makeup, overlying lips, just trying to look real cute and whatnot. Like, bitch, you just fucking killed your son. Like, I'm sorry to cuss, but like, makes me so mad. She literally felt no remorse, and neither did Tony. Tony sat there with a blank face, didn't shed one tear, didn't say sorry, didn't read a statement. Just clearly, it's just sad. It truly is sad. And this just goes to show that speaking up and using your voice could really make a difference in someone else's life. Any type of thing. You know how many people probably saw this child and went quiet and never stuck up for him, never said a word, never was like, oh, something doesn't seem right. I feel like a lot of people feel like they have to mind their business. But in a situation like this, like, no. It's beyond me. Like, it's just so disgusting how people can be so naive. Like, social services was on trial as well. I don't know if I told you guys, but Tony and Pearl's doing life in prison. She basically stated she was guilty to everything that they accused her of. She's not eligible to go back for retrial or appeal her case, so she's gonna rot in prison where she belongs. Tony is facing the death penalty in California, and a lot of people are pushing for him to get, I guess, lethal injection, which I hope, he does, because he killed this child and this child died in vain. It was to say that the 4 social workers were deemed in court and they were supposed to be tried. I was reading that the case was thrown out. I believe that once Netflix releases this documentary, it's going to bring up some, old wounds, and it's going to cut up in some things that, over here, sorry, it's going to really open up some wounds and a can of worms. And I honestly, in my gut, I feel like these people, they were released from their jobs. I don't know, these 4 social workers were released from these jobs. They never did a welfare check on Gabriel after all the abuse was reported. They never went out. They never removed him from his home. They just basically didn't fucking do their job. They were there to clock in, clock out, get paid, go home. That's what they fucking were. You know what I mean? It is to say that they were charged with nothing. They were going to go for tampering with paperwork and all these things. I really believe in my heart that once this documentary airs, a lot of people are going to use their platforms, speak on it, and I believe these people are going to get what they truly deserve, which is to be in prison or to be tried or to have some type of consequences for them not giving a shit. Like, you know what you're doing. You signed up to be a social worker. You signed up to work for CPS. I don't know what they call it in California. I'm not from California. You signed up to do this. That means that you truly want to do this the long way. Not, oh, I'm just here to get a check. And I know a lot of people going out of their job don't give a shit. I've even done it at my jobs. But come on now, you're dealing with other people's lives. You made this child suffer when you could have spoken up and done the right thing. It's just disgusting. This whole situation just really makes me upset. It said that this documentary was to be aired February 26th, I believe. I don't really know. I'm not gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it, and then I'm gonna do a video on what my thoughts were, because Netflix, they did Aaron Hernandez dirty. I feel like there was a lot of things that were left out in that documentary, and again, Netflix, you try to make that about him being gay. That whole documentary was about him being gay. Come on now, people. Come on now. This is 2020. We can be gay, we can be bisexual, pansexual, transgender. I don't give a shit. As long as you're a nice person, that's what freaking matters. You know what I mean? I'm not the nicest person. I have my flaws too, girl. I pop an attitude. But at the end of the day, we're all humans. Gay, straight, bi, white, black, Mexican, you know, I don't know. We're humans. And in this situation, a human lost his life. Like, even though Gabriel was 8 years old, he, will never be able to graduate. He will never be able to find someone he truly loves. He was a child and he was robbed of his innocence, and he was robbed of what he could have done. Maybe Gabriel could have been the voice for others that were abused. Maybe his situation would have made him rise up, and social services would have done their job, and he could have been that voice that fought for others. Below, I'm gonna link a number that you can call if you're in a domestic violence situation, if you're being some type of abuse, substance abuse. This is just something that I feel like we all need to bond together, and we all need to really speak on. I know my video's long. I know it was all over the place. I'm sorry. I'm scared. I could talk to someone face to face, but on a camera, it's a whole nother level. My mom said she was going to be my critic. Well, critique girl. Because, it's going to be looking a mess. But yeah. I'm going to go watch this series of Gabriel Fernandez. I'm going to watch it on Netflix. I hope to God Netflix doesn't do my little Gabriel dirty, because I'm gonna be upset, and I'm gonna come back on here and I'm gonna write a review. Not write a review, we'll speak on a review. I hope that my baby boy, I just feel like this connection to him, like if I know him, I hope he's resting in the sky, and I hope God knows that he's loved, and I know he's with our Father, and I know he's the perfect place, and I failed to mention his grandmother died 8 months after Gabriel passed away from complications of diabetes. I know that they're in the sky together, and I know she couldn't live probably another day without her baby boy. That was her baby. And you know what, Gabriel? This video is for you. I hope you rest in paradise, baby boy. I hope you know that we love you. We're not gonna let you die in vain, and justice will be served, mijo. On my grave, justice will be served to you, because you know what? Unfortunately, when situations like this happen in the day and age that we live in, social media is a very powerful thing, baby. Back in 2013, it wasn't like it was today, mijo. And I'm gonna promise you right now, baby, we're gonna watch this documentary. People are gonna speak up on it, and your justice it's gonna be served. And I just know that someone's gonna speak out, someone that has a beautiful platform, and I hope they do. And I hope that your justice is served, baby. And you know what? May you rest in peace, baby boy. We all are here, and we want to lift you up in prayers. And we're not saying your name for attention or clout. We're saying your name because we're so mad that no one could say your name and help you. But we're here now, and I hope everybody speaks on it. And I hope mine's not the only video. And you know what? I'm gonna just end out the video now, because I'm gonna go into a whole nother round of why I'm so mad. I'm just kidding. I want to say kisses to you guys all. If you want to follow me on my TikTok, I'm gonna link it down below. And good night y muchas bendiciones. And if you're in a situation like this, please reach out. Go to the comment box. I'm gonna link some numbers below. And on that note, rest in peace, baby boy. We love you, Gabriel. May you rest in the sky.